Today's guest is someone who truly embodies creativity, resilience, and reinvention. EMJ Smith has spent over 17 years traveling the world as a professional dancer and choreographer. Along the way, she's also worked as a stilt walker, model, and directed some of her own beautiful on-screen projects. Now she continues to evolve, working as an actress and show producer, while also navigating the layered and deeply personal journey of single motherhood. I'm so excited to welcome EMJ to the podcast to talk about creative evolution, identity, and the dance between ambition and motherhood. Welcome. So nice to see you again.
You too.
We met actually, it wasn't a year ago, maybe a year ago on a small project. But I remember you were so resilient and happy and positive, and I was just kind of immediately really interested in you as a human being. And also I was like, how can you be so, smiley? And even now that I'm looking at you, you're so charismatic and you have this beautiful smile on your face. And I'm always interested in what makes people see the bright side of life in general. So if you can share a little bit about your journey, that would be lovely.
Well, I can say the same to you. That's for sure. I just think, why not be happy, I think it's more stressful not to be.
That is very true. But, when you live, especially when you live in a big place, you see a lot of people around, and a lot of people just carry all their trauma on their shoulders, and they walk with it every day, all day long, throughout their lives. And for me, I've always been interested in what ways you can make yourself just see a brighter picture. You can have problems, or you can have a difficult life or trauma, or, difficult childhood. But how do you see the world is not based off that. Because you can see like people who have extremely traumatic backgrounds who are really happy and positive and will always have a smile on their face, but it's an authentic smile. It's not a fake smile. So
Yeah.
for me, that's always been something that I've been drawn to.
I think if you can get through trauma or hard times, it's that cliche of it makes you stronger, but it also, you've got through it, you're still here. And
Yeah.
you are appreciative of things you have, how big or small. And for me, I always think there's always someone worse than me, There's always something for me to be grateful for. I have a roof over my head. I have food on my plate. I have clothes on my back. I'm pursuing a career that I love, I think there's always a factor to be proud and appreciative of. So that's why I wear my smile. And I think it's nice to other people as well. I've always been a people pleaser. I'm a huge empath. I like to help others. For whatever reason, people always seem to open up to me, which I don't mind at all. I'll listen. But I think it's nicer for someone to have a friendly face to talk to them, because you never know what their day's been, You never know what someone else has been through. Even if you've had a bad morning, the day can get better. If you carry on with that struggle on your face or on your back, you're just going to carry on with a bad day, right?
Yeah, so it's a lot of the things we say to ourselves, isn't it? For example, last night was a bit weird, and because there was quite a weird energy around, and I wasn't feeling good. And then this morning I woke up, and there's that residue from last night. And then if you don't switch on at one point and say, okay, that's fine, that's last night, and today's today, and I need to update the software.
I've had a day today. With you saying that, I have a 3-year-old, and she's beautiful, she's wonderful, she's so happy. But today we were both just having a day, So many tears, so I just felt so stressed. It's also the wrong time of the month. So many conversations today, and I just said, look, I can see you're feeling sad, and you're stressed out for whatever reason, but do you know why? Do you know why you're crying? Because it's okay to have a down day. So that's fine. We all have all the emotions. We're human, but at the same time, let's do something about it if we can. If you want to just be sad today, that's okay. But if not, let's change our narrative. And we went out for a walk, and it picked us up. But oh, it was a day.
Well, but that's the thing, a lot of people associate, there's almost a stigma when it comes to positive thinking because
Yeah,
it kind of sounds weird and a lot of people assume you just have to be thinking positive all the time, all the time. And that's not the case because life is ups and downs and you have moments and then you'll pick yourself from these moments. But it's more about perspective and how you react to each situation and do you maybe beat yourself up, which is something I used to do so much of. I would have a moment or something, maybe I wasn't great at responding to a situation and then I'd beat myself up and that would be the actual problem because you have no understanding and you're not gentle to yourself. And if you do that, there's even less of a chance that next time the situation happens, you'll react better.
yeah. I spent many years just saying yes, 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 okay to everyone, and letting people walk over me. Then I would be annoyed that I did that. And then when I had too much, like you take so much in, you push so many feelings down, and then when you explode, then you get annoyed for exploding, you know? So it's finding the middle ground in a kind way. So I think I have strength now to do that better. But
It's interesting when you say people pleasing, because I used to be like this 100%. I would never do anything for me or because I authentically wanted something. It was just reacting to others in a suitable way, in an appropriate way. That's not what I would want. What made you undo the behavior and just what made you change this pattern of people pleasing? Because that's very difficult. And I know that as somebody who used to do it.
for me, I got to a very dark place. I had a huge breakdown and I thought this cannot happen again, you know? I took a moment for myself and took myself away and I healed. But it was amazing, the reaction. You know, people didn't like that I was doing something for myself and not just doing everything for everyone else. I've lost many people along the journey, but I've also kept some amazing friends or friends that have really stepped up for me and made new friends because sometimes you have to heal yourself first, you know, and be authentic to your own heart, like you were saying.
There's a lot of truth in that because when you in that place and you make friends from that place, a lot of people who will be energetically attracted to you will be attracted to that specific thing because it's almost like a match for them and where they're in their lives. And when you're not that person anymore, you're not interesting anymore. There's no match. And there's no in that kind of toxic way, right? There's no match anymore. So these kind of people will just naturally disappear.
Yeah, they need that 100% happy, positive, will do stuff for you. But as soon as it slides slightly, which is human nature, no one's 100% happiness. You know, we're not joy from inside out. But yeah, I think a smile can hide a lot. It's armor. It can
It
be
is.
armor anyway.
I had a therapy session. I was just smiling like this the whole time, and I was telling my problems. And she was like, "I can see this protective mechanism that you're exhibiting. It is based off what's happened before. We have become who we are today, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. What do we do with it instead?"
We elude, shall we say, this positive energy rather than there's so many people who go in on themselves or come across really bitter and angry. So I'm proud that I am not like that. But I've had the same in a therapy session where she'll
Like,
say,
stop
"Why are you
smiling.
laughing? You're telling me
Exactly.
something quite bad and you're laughing.
I know, so this thing happened and my life, and then she's like, "Stop smiling."
Yeah.
It's
We're trying
something.
to soften the blow, aren't we, for someone who's there to help us. Do you know, I went to the park the other day. I took my dog, my daughter out, and there was I'm going to assume it was a mum and a dad with a toddler, and I initially thought, oh, that mum looks a bit stressed out and angry, and the dad looked really happy. Anyway, when they left, she came up to me. I thought, oh no, what's happened here? And she said, I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to tell you, you have a beautiful smile. Your teeth are so nice. And I was
Oh,
thought, oh my God, I didn't know I was smiling. It was lovely. And she obviously felt like she could approach me, which was really nice. We should do this to ourselves. I just had a little kind of pat on the back to myself. Yeah, it was a nice exchange. I don't think we have enough of those anymore.
right? We kind of starved as human beings. That's for everything. That's for a friendship, even family sometimes, dating a lot. People are just starved of
Yeah,
authentic, kind, gentle, real connection.
we instantly think a negative thought. Well, I can't say for everyone, but for me, I think, oh, something's going to happen here. You know, I don't imagine it's going to be a nice exchange. And then when it is, it's really pleasant. But actually, that should be the norm, no?
I know, but this happened to me, and I'm not going to say where because that person will listen. I met someone, and they were well, they looked very grumpy. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to judge them because actually I don't know this person. And they could be the loveliest, human being. And then the next time I saw them, they were. We as humans love to create opinions about everything. What we see is not necessarily the situation or it's not someone's authentic being because someone could have a bad day or they could be a quiet person, they could be an introvert, there could be so many things about why they are not the way you think they should be, which is also crazy. Why should someone be the way you think they should behave?
And especially as actors, for me, I love watching body language with people or people watching and their expressions. And my film head will just create a story, where they've come or what they're
Yeah,
doing. Or if someone's smiling, is that real? Is that hitting their eyes? Are they
I
actually
know
happy?
because
Or if they're so many times I've been with a friend or a colleague or something, and let's say I'm in a customer service role and someone's rude to you, letting off steam of something that's happened to them that day. They're just doing it at me. And I'll say to someone, something might have just happened to them, and they might have got some really bad news. So
yeah,
as much as you think they're attacking you, and yes, it might not be right, you don't know what's happened to them.
the thing about life is that we kind of walk around in our own heads and with our own thoughts and with our own stories, but life is full of stories and there's like every human has a story and you'll bump into a story and you don't know what that is and then you'll create your assumptions and it's all very rigid. Is it because it's Western society and there's so many people and everyone is in a rush all the time? You see sometimes when you do an event or when you go to somewhere with a small group of people and when you actually start talking at the beginning of every conversation, it's quite superficial. Oh, the weather is lovely today. Oh, yes, and tomorrow will be lovely. Oh, this weekend we're going to the seaside because the weather will be lovely. About half an hour later, you're talking about really deep things. And that's always
Yeah.
because you need to break this wall. Your story meets another story, and it's kind of like, hello, it's like this little introduction. That's when authenticity and connection happen, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I always find it interesting in a waiting room because no one is able to speak anymore. Everyone has their phones. The social connection is gone. I worked an event, I say recently, let's say in the last couple of years, and I was on stilts, a stilt walker, so I was up quite high. Everyone in the room was taking videos for like live stories, social media on their phones. I believe it was an influencer thing. They were invited there, but no one spoke. No one spoke to each other. Everyone was on their own phone, taking a video. A stunning venue, food and drink, live entertainers. No one spoke. It was baffling and really quite sad to watch.
It's a new thing as well. It's not something our brains are used to because phones are relatively new. How would we even change for that to be implemented, you know? How would we connect? When you go on the train, everyone is like this, like that. I'm just
Yeah, on their phone.
pretending to be typing on my phone. And you'll think, what did people do back in the day? Maybe they read a newspaper.
My friend asked me the other day, actually, the Stage newspaper used to
Oh,
be, I
yes.
don't think it's but with auditions. She asked me if it was still around.
For that.
And it was like a blast from the past, you know, because it's all online now. And
I
don't get
never
me wrong, I also go on my phone a lot. And if let's say I'm on the tube and I connect eyes with someone, it's
Eric.
automatically awkward and I look away. I don't know what to do. So I'm not saying I'm an exception at all. If we're on, I was going to say if we're on a night out, hilarious. I don't go on nights out anymore. I'd love to, but someone take me out. Um, if a stranger speaks to us, I instantly, my walls go up, the armor's on, and I want to be with my friend. I don't really want to spend time talking to a stranger because I have all these films in my head, a stranger danger type thing. And I'm a grown woman, but I still think I don't want to give off the wrong vibe because also I am happy. People do sometimes think I'm flirting, which again is so funny because I don't know how to.
I find myself sometimes as well. If someone speaks to me, there's this initial reaction that just clicks. It's like, oh, why are you speaking to me? Just leave me alone. Can I just be alone with my thoughts? And then I'm like, oh, then people don't talk anymore. And then sometimes I don't know. So you go into a room and then you start talking. Oh yeah, we had a social. So I go to a choir and we had a social night. And I went to the toilet because the girl I became friends with, she was there. So I was like, oh, I'll go there and I'll come back. By the time I came back, she was in a conversation with someone else. And you can't just join a conversation that someone is already having. So
Yeah.
suddenly I was with like 60 people and I was just, oh my God, what do I do now? Who do I speak to? Because
Ah.
I've been talking and I do not know what to do with myself. And I was just standing and then somebody came to talk to me, thankfully. But it is really awkward, and we kind
And you
of
even think, where do I put my hands? Like, what do I do with my body?
we have become unaccustomed to communication. Well, I mean, my great grandmother, where she grew up in a village in Bulgaria, it was customary to sit on a bench outside of someone's house, like 6, 7 women, and they would just tell stories and gossip, obviously. But there was a lot of
Yeah.
that kind of connection. Social connection was so big.
And
And
it's so important, I think. So important. I'm convinced that's why, for me, I think it was different for my daughter, but for me today, I needed an adult connection. I needed another adult with me today, and I didn't
am I an
have
adult?
one.
I will consider
I have
myself.
one now. Here she
Yes.
is this evening. But yeah, I just thought, right, I know I need that. That's what I want. I can't get it right now. So I'm going to do my best to have a lovely time with my daughter. But it's so important, especially like I've come from a big family and my whole life I've been very lucky with wonderful friends. But in most recent years, that a lot of that's dwindled away. It's a big impact, when those connections are gone. And it's so important. I really do believe that. That's why I love your podcast. And I instantly said, yes, I'll come on. I don't know what I'll talk
Yeah,
about, but
thank
I will.
you. I mean, I didn't know the conversation would go here, and that's what I like about it. That's why I don't like to plan because I kind of want to see where things go naturally. It's better than pre-planning and trying to control the narrative and all that, which
Yeah.
I think takes away from authenticity,
I
which
have
is important.
an acting teacher, and if she listens to this, she'll know who she is.
Yeah.
She, she's amazing, but it scares me because I feel like she can see into my soul. And my smile is my armor, or like I definitely can have a London face, I call it, air quotations, a London face, sunglasses on, not smiling, business walk, gets where you need to be. But yeah, when I go to her class, she can say the right things and just know exactly what's going on inside me emotion wise, which makes the scene so colorful, and it can open up doors to feeling different ways for different characters. But I have a wonderful life, but I have a lot of hardships. And sometimes I have to feel like I have to question myself, am I ready to go into this class? Because she'll see what's going on. That's what I feel like sometimes inside me. But actually, I think that is just human connection. And she really understands people. Something that I is missing a lot, I think, in the world. It doesn't seem like the norm to me with this lady. I won't say her name. But like I said, she's wonderful. I just feel like she's magic, you know?
Sometimes I'll have a conversation with certain, let's say, acquaintances, people you meet often, and you kind of tell that maybe they don't really know who you are as a human being. And maybe you don't know who they are as a human being. And
Yeah.
then it's almost like, why do we connect? Because we're
Yeah.
not connecting. Or like talks, conversations that maybe don't mean much. Superficial, surface level conversations. They don't really do anything for us as human beings.
We like to feel, don't we?
This is how we find out about ourselves, about others, about life. Testing, probing, feeling.
I mean, there's nothing better than knowing you wake up, you get ready to go out and you're meeting a friend that you could sit on that bench outside, like you were saying, your great granny, great great granny, and you just know you could do nothing and have the best time. I mean, I just think there's nothing better than that. Having someone in your life that's special, that's an absolute connection with someone, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're on the same level.
And could also be family members and things like that.
Or family, yeah.
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 Could be, could not be. Depends.
Or a partner.
Yeah.
Some people are lucky that their partner is the best friend, and that's excited everyone to say. And I'm sure they're annoyed sometimes, but
No, nobody's perfect. But I'm also noticing this thing talking about connection and people that when it comes to dating, especially, people expect perfection. Maybe dating apps created that problem. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Don't pretend to be.
No, we're
you know,
human beings. We're not perfect. And that's just by default.
I hate dating apps.
You have to be quite intentional and knowing exactly what you want in terms of values. I don't mean what someone looks like. And then
Yeah,
kind of makes it easier because then you can become quite strict with what you say yes to or what you allow into your presence or
yeah.
life. Because
That's so.
otherwise it does get overwhelming.
I think they have opened doors for people who maybe are scared or anxious to go out or can't go out, like single parents, for example. I'm not saying they're terrible, but for me, I don't like them.
That's the
I want to
thing.
meet someone authentically.
It's so much
But again,
nicer. It's so much
yeah,
nicer when that happens because also this was until recently this was how it happened. It's just a recent thing, right? Dating apps are a recent thing. So that kind of authentic connection is like, oh, but then people don't really talk to each other anymore, do they?
no, well, this is it, isn't it? It's a vicious circle. Let's take me, for example. I don't like dating. I am on one. I do have one on my phone, but even to click into it, ugh, I don't want to do it. God, so apologies for anyone if anyone has messaged me because I don't even want to click into it. But then you get me out in public and it's that thing of someone speaking to me and you go, oh my gosh, why are they talking to me? What do they want from me? You know what we were
And
talking
also,
about
I feel
earlier.
like you can't just meet someone anywhere. It has to be in an environment where that kind of feels like a natural occurrence, you know? If I'm walking down the street, probably not a good place, right?
Oh, you never know. You never know.
I'll probably think you want to sign me up for some or do a street interview, which happens too much now. Also, I feel like a lot of people meet through friends, right? Friends of friends of friends of friends. I'm thinking, has there been a genuine change in lifestyle, apart from my thinking, which has changed significantly?
Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe it's us.
Yeah.
But I've heard a few people say younger generation are different in that way. But we've had, had Brexit, had COVID and lockdown, and there's more talk about health. Yeah, hopefully it
Go to
has
the gym,
changed.
people, but then also that's a weird place to meet people because why would someone approach you in the gym? That's weird.
I love going to this is something else that I'm craving. I love going to the gym. I don't have the access right now. I can't get there financially and childcare, but it will happen again one day. But when I do go to the gym, I am sweating. I am listening to my music. I'm not going with like makeup or whatever, and I've got whatever I'm wearing on. And then I see these beautiful women in, sports bras and leggings and stunning hair and makeup. And I think, wow, I look like a trollop.
Oh no, you don't want, but like it's just being
People do me in the gym,
authentic,
don't they?
right? No, but you're being authentic. You can meet someone at the grocery store, maybe in your pajamas, because sometimes I go to the shop in my pajamas because I don't want to change. And it's a
Why
Christmas
not?
pajama, by the way. I don't know if you can see, but I kind of wear my Christmas
Christmas,
pajamas.
you say?
Yeah, because I just like
Yes.
the red. I feel like if there's a connection, etc., etc., it's not like you should just make a mess of yourself and leave the house. But you don't need to look in a certain way that you assume you should look, right? That's
Yeah.
more of an assumption, I think.
By the way, I love that you're wearing your pajama bottoms because so am I. And I just put on a top and bra so that you didn't think I would be.
I mean, I wear a sweater. I was in my dressing gown until before we started.
I was the same. Got out the shower. I had a little workout, got in the shower. Then I thought, right, can I put a full set of pajamas on or should I go lockdown and wear half half?
I feel like this is necessary sometimes, though. A lot of people have, especially with social media, that's another conversation. There's so much assumption that you need to look a certain way all the time. And I'm saying that as someone who's very aware. My own social media is like that, but that's my work account, okay? So my social media is my modeling portfolio, which I use for work. So it kind of has to be like that.
You look stunning.
Thank
Love
you.
seeing for work. I use social for work. Um, And yeah, it might be an excuse sometimes, but it is for work. And even stories where I let my life seep into it, it's to show employers that I am a real person. You know, my colleagues are friends, so they will see, but it is work. Sometimes I think about it and I can't imagine having social media that is just life. Because I think you can get really sucked into that whole negative body image thing. It's worrying, isn't it? It's so damaging.
You look at whether it's reels or social media and you see people and it's all edited now and you don't really know what people look like anyway in day-to-day
Yeah.
life. And then it's also about children because that's what they see when they're developing their brains. And this is, I feel like, quite toxic because when I was 14, Instagram wasn't a thing. Maybe when I was graduating. But in my high school years, it wasn't really a thing at all. Talking about connection, one thing, but also how do we connect to people that are not the people that you think they are?
It's terrifying.
I know, I mean, I've had a few jobs where people have been like, oh, you know what, we like you because you're authentic and like real. You kind of look natural and everything. And I started thinking, is that a rarity these days?
Absolutely. My daughter has done something yesterday and today, and I remember doing it myself. She's looking at my earrings and she said, Mummy, can I wear your earrings? I said, no, babe, you don't have a hole in your ear. They, we get them done ourselves. She was like, oh, okay. I said, yeah, it's, I can't remember what I said, but when she realized that you have to put a hole in your ear, I said, do you want your ears pierced then when you're older? No, 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 no. Like, okay, you don't have to. It's not a thing you have to do.
And
And I remember looking in the mirror when I was a child, trying to find the hole in my ear, and I had one of my mum's earrings. Like, put it in. She had to come and say to me, "No, That's not a thing. Like your body isn't born with a hole in it.
I mean, there's a lot of things that you might feel pressured to do. Maybe you're pressured to behave in a certain way, etc., etc., etc. And then actually, this is also a little into the people pleasing thing. When you become really grounded in yourself and really comfortable in who you are, you also become quite comfortable and like, I'm fine.
I definitely am feeling more like that recently. You grow older, you grow wiser, you realize that it's okay to say no, just do things how you need to do them. As long as it's kind, and it's not hurting anyone, it's quite empowering, really. So for these people, they don't make me happy. They do quite the opposite. So it's okay. I don't need to.
You're a sponge when it comes to energy around you because you'll just suck it in. You won't even notice if you're not aware. And it will be inside and it will change your mood. It will change your whole personality if you don't wake up to it and you don't make the decision to, be quite picky with your surroundings.
Yeah.
I'm thinking again of last night because again I was feeling quite odd and then in the morning again and then because I'm quite grounded, I guess, I was like, oh no, it's fine. It's a moment. It's normal to feel like this sometimes, especially when you're in a surrounding like that. You can't feel up all the time. You realize that, you move on, and that's it.
I mean, I walked to the car after the show last night in London. It's quite late. I was walking to my car. I suppose you're supposed to walk away from a lovely musical feeling really uplifted and happy and what have you. My daughter and I were singing along in the street, and I just thought, sod it, I don't care. Like, we'll just have a little sing song together. But I felt a bit, I don't know, a bit lost, a bit empty, a bit sad. It's a moment. It's going to pass. I know why I was feeling like that because I've had my dance career. I dreamt of being in musicals like this, and it always reminds me that my career went in different ways, and it's still expanding. And I'm doing other things now, and that's fine. But when I watch a show, I just love it. I just want to be up there with them for me. It's a passion,
Yeah.
right? So I was walking to the car, and part of me just felt a bit empty. And I think it was because it sounds so bizarre, maybe, but I was in the audience, not on the stage. And that's not a, oh, I want everyone to look at me. That's I love that career and I
Yeah, this
love
is
what I
my
do.
dream, and I'm seeing it on the stage.
Yeah, it's like if I watch a Marvel film or a live action Disney or something like Lara Croft, that's the ultimate goal for me.
Oh.
That's where I'm going. So if I watch these films, I want to be in them. And
Yeah.
every comes out, I think, oh no, that's another film that I've missed that opportunity. But then you have to take the second, don't you, and say, but these people are amazing. Let's applaud them, and there'll be more things that come out. My
Yeah.
my type isn't yet.
This is true. There was a quite a famous actor who used to be a stock photo model, and I don't know if everyone knows what stock images are. It's just images that you do and that can be used forever for anything, ever. And he's now a very successful Hollywood actor. You just never know where the opportunity comes from. And it's also something that everyone would have told him, "Oh no, you can't be an actor now because your image is everywhere and can be used
Yeah,
for everything." I like that. Because sometimes people will tell you, "Oh no, this is the path you've taken, so that means you can't do the original path that you wanted to do." Because people have these assumptions about how your life should look like or how your
yeah.
path should unfold.
I always wanted to be an actor, screen film actor, which is what I do now. And I wanted to be a dancer, but I did my dance career first. I still work as a dancer. I finish acting now because I thought my body will hold out first for dancing and then I can go into acting. But the amount of stereotypes that dancers can't act, it was shocking. It's quite sad. I think it's changed a bit now and I use it to my benefit. But also I now work in special action. So I fight weapons for screen or unarmed. And again, the amount of people that think dancers can't fight is sad because don't put everyone in one box, right? And there's some amazing artists out there on the big screens who are doing these things that people are saying you can't do. So yeah, I'm trying to forever push my own skills and boundaries and not listen to those narratives.
It makes getting to where you want to be this much more sweeter, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, no, but
Tommy can
everybody
do it.
told me
Now
I
I am.
can't do it. Everyone, I mean, I told my grandma, obviously, like, I do a bit of acting. And then I was speaking to my grandmother, who I absolutely love. But then she's very old fashioned. She doesn't really understand. Why she hasn't seen me in a movie. So she says, but you're not an actress. And I was like, I love her and she loves me, but the understanding is just not there.
Or when someone says, who's not an actor or in the creative industry.
Yeah.
Oh, have you thought about being on EastEnders? Oh, yeah, I have actually.
Oh, what have I seen
Would
you
you
in?
like an audition?
Can I have an audition? Thank you.
We've just got to take it with so haven't you?
I
Because
know.
I mean, I wouldn't know other careers. If someone spoke to me about stocks or I don't know, electrician or something, I wouldn't know.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe it's also because they don't understand. Like my grandmother. Who I love. I wanted to end this lovely conversation with maybe advice. Advice for people. That's fun. When they want to connect with anyone in any kind of capacity, whether it's friends, dating, family that you haven't been in touch with for a while. How do you connect is a big thing for me is not to judge, which we talked about, and be open to understanding people and allowing people to be different to who you imagine them
Mhm.
to be.
So
Let's be
just stay
different.
open, listen, understand, eye contact is great, and a smile.
Let's smile, have eye contact, and be different.